don't know my mind. You don't know my kind. Dark necessities are part of my design. And tell the world that I'm falling from the sky. Dark necessities are part of my design.
Sweet.
Yep.
Can you set up the little rocking chair so we can do our like good
Should I
night
put like a
with
little?
sheep in
Should I put a little
pajamas?
blanket on him too, so you can be old, grumpy old man sheep?
Yeah.
This has been in the making for years, but we need to do
He
like
already has
story time.
glasses. Yeah. We need to have story time with sheep. We just need somebody to film it. But what's going on, everybody? I am the one, the only, the WOOKIE, joined here with the normal cast of misfits. We have the PhD of Keyforge, Dr. Sheep.
So
We have the one, I've screwed you up, Smoke Show, Choke Show.
Hello, folks.
He answers.
I can do this.
I don't know what
How's
that
that?
is. And we have the
Fun, yeah.
Ewokiest of Ewoks, Ewok Jr.
Hello,
Okay, real
Keyforge community. I have no idea what they are doing, friends, so it's going to be entertaining tonight.
Some days I don't know what we're doing here either, but I wanted to do this last week, and then we got KFC Roseville mild news. I've somehow lost my mouse cursor. That's not good.
Hey,
Oh, there it is.
We had news, and that's important.
Yeah,
So
it was very
we're gonna
exciting.
report that news, and now we can come back to the state
Yep.
of the VT.
So exciting. I had to
US style.
record while operating my GPS, which I'm sure everybody loved. And
Which we
appreciated.
only got one complaint about.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's it?
That's not
That's it.
bad.
Oh.
Yeah, just the one.
Oh.
And
But
then-
I think
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's impressive. Like in industry, if you only got one complaint, you're really good. You're golden.
I bet you like everybody's
That's
so
not what
engaged
that
on trying
means.
to
That means you become-
triangulate where I was like at the time. Like, oh, they just said root whatever, right?
The amount
know-
of complaints usually is the amount of relative you are.
Oh.
We're going down in the world, boys. Actually, I got a complaint too, but I don't pay attention to them, so.
Ah.
I think that Drazgord, you should hold decks hostage. We'll give you random decks, and if people can triangulate where you are in the world, they too can earn a deck by coming and finding you.
Where in the world is Drazgor San
George,
Diego?
there you go.
I was going with that, but I didn't know how it would roll off the tongue. Thank you for confirming that it would not be good.
Time.
I thought it was great. Draz, you made my night. Little
But-
nostalgia
Oh, there you
for
go.
We
There you
need to go through all the vault tours, and we are going to grade them. I believe it's letter grade time, since a majority of vault tours are vault. No, you're not vault warriors. You're just normal Archons. People who play Keyforge. There's a lot of teachers. That's what I'm trying to get at here. That took a long time to get out.
Wow,
We're gonna-
that was sad.
We're going to give each one a letter grade, and then I think overall we're going to give a letter grade for the year. We start out in Roseville, Minnesota. Rotville?
Yeah,
Is that what I wrote
came
down?
out. Yep, we came into all of these amazing names. So it was technically Roseville, Minnesota,
Mhm.
but as you were putting it together, you came up with Rotville. So
Like I said, I wasn't on Homebro, so that was a problem. So we had 40 attendance total at Roseville, Minnesota. This was in April? March?
It was pretty early. I think it was April.
It
It was
was
early
cold
April.
still. This much I do remember.
Well, it's Minnesota, right? It's pretty much always cold.
no.
It had to have
Minnesota
been
was
early April.
It was April 5th, 6th, and 7th
There
in
you go.
Minnesota. It was fine. This event, though, because of our attendance at 40, was run back-to-back, so people could play in multiple events on the Archon Alliance side, so we'll talk about that. But
So we're going to play a fun game here, chat. We're going to play a fun game called, actually, we've given this one away, but we're going to play a fun game called Can You Figure Out the Ones That You Are Allowed to Play in All Three? Because there are one,
I mean,
two,
it's pretty easy, right?
there's three on our chat. We're including Gen Con US Nationals. So there's 3 of these that you are allowed to play in all 3. And the one who picks it out gets a special prize. It might be a hug from Drazgor. I'm not sure. But 40 total attendance, 32 played in Sealed, 36 played in Archon, 29 played in Alliance. Boys, what can we say about Roseville? Here's one thing
Well,
I can say. It definitely was a clusterfuck.
I mean,
We actually have some items, but thanks for that.
there were some
Great
challenges,
recording.
Not a problem.
but there was also some good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So we
it
came
was-
up with this list of what we're going to go through, and we're going to go through kind of the location, pricing, what the party was. Isn't venue and location kind of the same thing? Okay.
Maybe.
Anyways, got a few bullet points that we want to go over. Obviously, Roseville was held at the Game Center. And most people stayed at actually, I don't think anybody didn't. Well, maybe not. Most people stayed at the Doubletree, which is literally like next door
Yeah.
to the Game Center.
Which is super convenient. Like you just walk through the backyard, like through the up the hill, and you're there, right?
Well,
You just got to make sure not to take a too direct route. Like there's a route through like the weeds and the vines and like the broken glass. Like you actually have to go around. So you don't step on anything dangerous.
So looking at this as the location, not super easy to be able to get to via airport. So that's a little bit of a restriction. Drascore, you did fly in though, so it's not unheard of. There is an international airport there. A little bit of a hop
20 to 30
over.
minutes,
Yeah.
at least to get there from the airport. So
No.
a little far.
how long did you say?
30
Did you say
minutes, maybe
30 minutes?
20, 30.
about.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem that bad
I mean,
as far as
it's not
airports go.
terrible. It's not close.
It's not far away.
So the venue itself, I thought that April for Minnesota, weather was fine. I didn't have any issues there. Venue, it is their local venue, and so obviously the price is right for GG to be able to run it in Game Center. We were actually in the small room based on our size of our group.
Who are you kidding? They did not have that secondary room set up to handle any amount of people. That was storage at
Well,
that point.
Well,
I
no,
don't-
but
Only because of the
yeah, they could see
low
what the numbers
attendance.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
How
could
did
see
you-
attendance coming into that, so there was no reason to set up the other side. They had gone ahead and put the audio recording over on the
They did.
larger side. So
And it was cold in that room. I don't think there was any heat in that room.
I thought
Yeah.
that was fine. You want to talk cold? Talk
It was
about
cold.
later.
It was cold in that room. It was like real warm.
Roasting in the other
room.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought the venue was fine, but obviously the price is right
Hold
for
on.
them.
Well, this kind of goes into food too. So one thing we all know about the Game Center is typically they sell food.
Yeah.
There's I shouldn't say no food. You could get your normal like crummy snacks you can get anywhere there. But they didn't have food this year, only drinks.
I don't.
Yeah,
You know,
they
they still
gave that up
had-
at the whole venue. It's not
Oh.
just for vaults.
They still had the kitchen back there. I don't know why they didn't let us go back and whip something up. Like that would have been pretty good. You know?
Yeah, bring your own burgers, just fry them up.
Yeah, flip some burgers. Like would have been great. I'll be like, CTP, you want some ketchup with that? You know?
He didn't even
Good.
show up. Who you kidding?
So
There-
the Minneapolis airport is number 10 on the list of most expensive airports to travel to.
That is a bit of an issue. I
So-
will say that for food proximity, you do have the food court that is at the mall. It's not super far away. But
Huh?
if you don't have a vehicle, it's not an easy walking distance.
Oh,
either.
yeah, we went there at night. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that mall.
So,
I was not
it's
thrilled
cool.
with that.
It's
It's
close
there.
to
It
it's
takes
close
forever.
enough if you're driving, but it's not gonna like you could go ahead and probably do a walk, not in Vault Tour time frame that you need to hop over there and hop back. But with a vehicle, it wasn't bad.
And then that brings so we learned the pricing after this event, which was Vault Masters 24.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ewok, how's that Vault Master 24 treating you?
So compared to last year, I actually have spent more money after acquiring decks, and that is because I wanted to trade for the other geocache.
I was going to say, to be fair, this is
That's on me.
because Ewok's treating him like Pokemon. He needs to collect them all.
I mean,
Well-
you could have had decks that didn't have geotag and you weren't trading for them, and then you wouldn't have geotag decks to trade. So,
But it's still Vault Master
you would have spent
24.
It's
more
Vault.
money?
It's Vault Master 24. The problem is that you see a couple people posting on Facebook. I'm selling them, but they're not moving. So I think that they're a nice novelty. I think that the idea for geocache great, but to put them on Vault Master 24 versus the GR was a bit of a hit. We were
Well,
anticipating GR.
You say that right now with GR, but next season could be Amber Skies.
Yeah,
If
but
they
I'm
don't
saying-
do VM. So I don't know if it's all.
I hear that, but the difference between again Amber Skies and GR is something very, very different. We're just talking like we were coming
yeah,
in
we don't know
anticipating it was GR. So until we see Amber Skies, we don't necessarily know. I frankly don't want to see it on the usual set, but it was a disappointment. There's no question about it. That was a disappointment. I think it's interesting to be able to collect the geocache decks, and that's something to do. But otherwise, the pricing was definitely a downgrade compared to last year.
Cash versus
Like-
stuff.
I think
Hey.
all the prizes just went to Vargast, right? Like
Well, at this,
My-
the
at
weekend
this,
of Vargast.
at this typical version, yes, that all went to Vargas.
My new trophy
funny.
is sweet.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, we didn't have the trophies at Roseville. They had not showed up off the boat yet. I don't think did you have them at Rochester? No, there was nothing at Rochester.
They weren't even at San Antonio.
They were not at, so
Yeah.
they didn't show up till Baltimore. Wow.
Yeah, they were definitely late. I think that it's still very, very top laden for what the pricing is. So what I mean by that is you have the trophy for first, you have the access to worlds for first for the vaults, you have your deck goes adding but this is important. So
Is
again,
it though? We're gonna have 46 people show up to KFC, and it's like, well, access
hopefully
to
it's
everybody's
more
gonna
than
get access to worlds. There's no doubt in my mind that most top end players are going to be able to play in one Worlds event.
I disagree about that.
They're making them smaller this year, so I don't know.
Yeah, but it's 24 people, right? So I mean, yes, now
It's 20
everyone has an ability to play, right? And even the people who have access to Worlds also have access to the sealed version, right?
Which is
Like,
why
there's
your
less
numbers are really,
people.
you're really at 48 because Archon and Alliance are being run at the same time simultaneously. Sealed players can play in their choice of Archon or Alliance. So you really have 48 slots available for Worlds.
well, no, you don't. We don't
Yes.
know, because if I double qualify and I go into sealed, I also
No,
have my spot in
Sealed's
Archon.
separate. Sealed's a different
Yes.
day.
Right.
So it's only 48 unique players, sort of.
Correct.
Right, sort of. Because let's say I
Plus there-
scrub
plus
out in
there-
sealed,
plus
that's
sealed.
a whole spot that's not being taken up by Mina.
But
So
look,
there's
at
more than just 48 slots.
how many people were there for Archon last year, even when we didn't have Sealed.
But that's last year. This is a totally different animal this year. There's no travel vouchers. So if you live overseas, you got to fork over the money yourself. I think it was Elu was telling me it's some. I don't remember what he told me it was going to cost, but it's not cheap to travel
I
from
can-
overseas into the United States. So I would imagine 99.9% of the people who are overseas, we're not going to see them.
I
We didn't
agree
see
that.
them last year.
Well, no, I
Oh, we
think
saw
that
some folks.
You had a
I think
decent
we saw-
representation of overseas
Yeah.
people.
99% of them didn't come.
yeah, it wasn't complete. Even with the travel vouchers, I think the numbers, Wookie, you are right. It will be less this year from our international friends, but I actually like seeing all of our international friends and being able to play. Last year, I thought that was a really, really big highlight. That will be missing this year, most likely, but they have access. I still think that by slimming down the numbers, you're going to go ahead and see a much tighter field because people can go ahead and play in sealed and they can play in one of the two other events.
Right,
So
but even in your LCQ, you're only allotted one slot. It's not like you're allotted one in sealed and one
Yeah,
in your
but-
choice. You're
but
allotted
he's
a
saying
slot.
There are
People
a
who've
number
qualified.
of players who are already qualified in Archon or Alliance who are going, if they finish well enough, are taking the sealed slots from
Correct.
people who are qualified in nothing.
Yes.
That's what Ewok's saying, and it's true. It's going to happen.
There is reason to play, and I appreciate that they did that with the LCQ. Last year, the LCQ for sheep and for others who are already in, it was problematic because you were put in a tough position. This year, everyone has a reason to play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, we're here to talk about Vault Tours, not about that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it is a thing that it does exist.
Well,
I mean,
and
I think there's not $15,000 up for grabs this time, so I think that's going to deter a lot of people who.
There might not be $15.
Yeah.
There's not going to be. There's not going to be $15 unless we all pool together and start taking side bets.
Can you imagine? Like they're like handing out the prizes, and like somebody's up there, like, all right, we walk up, just wave a $20 bill.
I got $20 on sheep. I got $20 on Wookiee. Who'd you taking? What are you taking? 2-to-1 odds. 2-to-1 odds. I'll be collecting prize money. We'll be handing it out.
I'm actually just waiting for. I have a new audio interface, so if you hear some weird things, people, I'm testing out the new audio interface. I don't really know what's going on with it, but it keeps moving.
What is?
No, it's not doing that. It's just like every so often, it's like it's doing something, and I'm not sure if it's capturing what noise it's exactly capturing, but I can see
you have the new
meter
knobs and
moving.
dials.
Is
thing that you
Drazcor
were showing me?
Yeah, it's got knobs and dials.
Is Drazcor out in the field again using his GPS? Please turn right now.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. Every so often, it just kind of like moves. It's very low, so I wonder if it's capturing my AC, but I'm not sure. But if you do hear that, I apologize. I'm trying this out because I want to take this. I have grand visions that will probably never be fulfilled because of how much we're going to be drinking. To do some vlog style stuff, to have the ability to do some live type deals at KFC. And kind of get some of that stuff going. And this interface is one of the things because it can attach right to my iPad, and we can just do it from that. But we'll see where that goes. It's neither here nor there.
Back to this, prizing is just the one and done. I will tell you that I think our numbers were lower at Hamburg, Germany, which is not part of the U.S. in what we're talking about. But you are going to see that impact because the travel vouchers are missing for this upcoming year. I will go ahead and just simply say, prizing, the pins were those were awesome. Top
Pins
8
cool.
pins.
Yeah.
I thought that they did much better after we left
Pins
Roseville.
are cool, aren't they?
Well, they are. Access to worlds is more important, though. The mats, I like that they changed the graphics as you went to Archon and Alliance and the difference for the different positions. They did that after Roseville. So again, they adjusted through the year. I felt this was a good adjustment. So even though
Still didn't put the name of which, well, they put the name of what? No, they did not, did they?
No.
Yeah, so still didn't put the name of the event you were on. So I hope somebody's taking notes.
The location.
No. Yeah, they had the location. Again,
they had the location, but they didn't have the name. So like if you were, they didn't have. What didn't they have? They didn't either have the name or the location.
The location was there,
but there was no name, so it was just top 8 Roseville, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like top 8 Archon Roseville.
Correct.
But that changed when you were looking at the other locations.
Did it?
Yeah, they fixed that. That's the only event where they didn't have event on it.
Oh, okay.
So again, I felt that was listening to us. This is one of the areas where I was actually okay that they fixed that. I think that overall, one of the things I saw is just the fluctuation and being inconsistent from vault to vault was pretty difficult to be able to see. But prizing overall, I thought was definitely a downgrade. I think that it impacted, but longevity-wise, it's going to help so that these vaults can be run consistently, which I am definitely all
We
for.
hope.
So,
we hope.
Yes. But I don't know. Would you guys prefer to see sealed product of the relevant set and you're getting the same quantity or even more for a sealed product? Or would you like to go ahead and see Vault Masters?
I don't mind the Vault Masters if the Vault Masters is good. I mean, they're not neither Vault Masters 23 nor 24 was any good. And we've seen the whole thing now via DOK. It's just again, there's sets with too many creatures in it. I
Too many
don't understand like the theory, what is going into the idea of Vault Master 23 and 24. They're like, oh, we're gonna take some cards from previous sets and smash them all together, and it's gonna be really, really cool. But both 23 and 24 have been entire flops. They're not even alliance viable because
Unless
you
you
get
get quad routine job.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
unless you have
there's
quad
some
routine
individual
job.
pods that can.
But like, there's individual pods that can do it, but 23 is not compatible with 24, and because there's so little of the sets out and about in the public domain, it's very hard to even alliance them. So they're not Archon worthy. They're not alliance worthy. The only thing they're good for is Shredder.
Yeah.
So
Which we should actually do a Shredder report for Roseville.
we didn't do Shredder at Roseville. Talking about it for KFC.
Well, no, Roseville we did some, right? Remember?
No.
Well, so we had the whole party, right?
We had the
Did we
party.
no, we didn't shred at the party.
There was
No,
was
Sydney
nobody
ripped
shredded
up
at the
a
party?
card and like had a panic attack afterward.
okay.
That was totally
That
different.
was a big step for her.
So
big
since
step.
we are talking about that, a number of our community members have stepped up, and starting with Roseville, we had some experiences to be able to enjoy. So, how was the
By-
partying and the
By some,
experience?
he made Sydney. Sydney
Hey.
stepped up, and now we have a party at we have like a vault tour after party at almost every event.
But I think while our numbers overall have decreased from a year before, you are definitely seeing a tighter group, a group
Oh, no,
that's spending
for sure.
time together, and
But-
honestly having a good time doing other things outside of Keyforge, which is interesting to see.
So,
Yeah.
like, you remember how awesome it felt, like, coming out of that party, going in the next day? Like, we were...
No, it hurt. It was very painful.
Well, all right, maybe not the next morning, but, like,
Oh.
that party
I
was
was
so
good.
much fun, right? Like, it was just people hanging out. It was having a great time. We were, we're playing games. We're playing Skull. We were, drinking. We were eating Cheetos, right? Like, it was a great time. Like, people were just having a blast there. And we had the unnerfed Ecto Charge as our cocktail of choice in the big cooler.
I've already
and it
chosen
was,
KFC's drink of choice this year
Oh.
for everybody
Mhm.
that's involved. I'm announcing it here because I'm
we
just
got?
going to speak it into fruition. So, drum roll, please. It's screwdrivers.
No.
Yep.
No.
The Wookiees' drink of choice, screwdrivers. That is going to be the KF. No, because your drinks are just full of booze.
That's the point.
Yeah, but
So
like, no.
can the drink be called the screwed over?
Yes. Yes, and yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Oh.
110%. That's what the drink is called.
All right. Well, the partying experience for Roseville was an A+. I can go ahead and say that. The prizing for the year, I think I placed at a D. Location,
Gave it
venue.
a D, huh? Oh, we're
yeah.
talking just for road check. I mean, the pricing is
Well,
pretty much all going to be the same because it was all the same for
Yeah.
every vault except for Gen Con, which we'll get into. But yeah, a D. I think D. That seems high.
I'm at those pins, those top 8 pins, and I think the improvement for the mats overall allowed it to at least be better than the top 4. So yes, I could probably even be persuaded into a C there.
Ooh, I can't be talked to a C. I'll give you a D because I'm still kind of upset about my pin. I still didn't get a pin. There's no pin to be found, but D. Okay, well after you said the improved play mats and the pins and all that, all right, fine. D.
What about
C
the?
is tough.
All right, Draz,
Mhm.
partying experience. What would you give it?
The party experience?
A
yeah,
plus.
Roseville.
The party was an A. Absolutely. Like,
How
that
about-
was so much fun.
How about the prizing for this year? Since Wookie and I are a little different.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in there, right? I mean, it's fine.
Non-committal. Got it. Sheep.
D plus.
Ooh, D+. Got
D
it.
plus. What's the plus? Extra shitty?
So that is a plus, not a minus.
I mean, Josh smiled when he handed it to me. That's worth
Yeah,
a plus.
because he knew he was giving you hot garbage.
I don't know if he knew that. So
He knew.
Shape.
Why?
Ugh.
What are you giving the
Focus.
prizing for this year?
Compared to what?
Last year.
If you
That's all we can
compare it to
compare it to.
last year, it's an F.
I mean, value-wise, it's an F, but like actually interest in getting it is much higher for me.
Correct, which is why we have to do an average and where you're placing it.
What else the hell else are they gonna give us? Like, I think they could have. I don't actually think the thing is I don't think getting more of the geotag decks would make them better. It would actually
No.
make them less desirable.
Yeah, I agree with that.
As it is, as the way we play now, even if they offered like a case of GR, I'd just kind of be like, okay, like I don't need that many more Keyforge decks. I don't need 1,000.
I need
more
all
Keyforge
the
decks
GR I
anymore.
can find.
But I'm going to
Well,
say,
sure,
I would
because that's
sit
because
and
you're trying to
crack
open something good.
I would
when
sit
you go
and
ahead
crack
and
those.
try, when you try and go ahead and talk that we don't need things, again, it seems to disappear. So I just would split it up a little bit further. I would love to see something more for the people who, frankly, aren't even placing in the top 8, just to walk away with something. That would be nice. Outside of here's your 1 Vault Master 24 and your 3 decks for sealed. So that's honestly what I miss from the early days.
I personally don't think the value to the cost of Vault Tours is that bad right now. So I give it like a B, D plus. I'm
B, D plus.
I'm fine with what I'm getting because I've never played this game because of the prizes. Like I've always thought, and I actually don't think it helped when they made it cash prizing. They've ruined a bunch of things by doing that.
Well, that I can't disagree with you on.
Sheep
yeah,
is, I think Sheep's right with
I'm going to come up a little
value.
bit. I'm going to come up a little bit.
Value. That's
Yeah.
what I was at C. I think the value
I'll do C
again
also.
for what you're getting at, I understand. I would like to see for next year the pins coming back. I'd like to see something like acrylic amber or like patch something handed out to everyone so you can walk away with and say, I went to this vault.
Well, everybody
that's
got
important.
something. Everybody got a Vault Master's deck.
Yeah, does that tell you that you went to Roseville?
Yes. They're all
No.
everyone gets a geotagged Vault Master deck in their
No, they
goodie
don't.
bag.
No,
you
they do
don't.
not. You
No,
just
you
get
do
a
not. You get a regular
Oh, you
one.
just get a regular one. That's right. Never mind. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying, like, you want to have something that is saying, I went to this event. Here's how I know that I went to the event. And you can show it when you go back to your locals, and it's something fun. I want it. It doesn't need to be a lot, but one little item for everyone, it would help out in that manner.
I still don't understand why Acrylic Ember haven't come back. Like, that does not seem like a huge ask, but it's something that we all love.
They have to sell those whatever tokens they're selling now.
Then fine, print them there.
Print them on that then.
Yeah.
Figured out.
I
But
mean,
anyway,
it's something we've all asked for 2 years now. Like, this isn't it's not a small community going, hey, those Acrylic Ember were really, really cool. Everybody talks about the Acrylic Ember that FFG handed out. Everybody. And we all loved them, yet we cannot get them to somehow make them make a comeback. All right,
I'll bounce down attendance. Attendance, we went through the numbers that are there. I felt that this was one of the dates that was actually announced, Roseville. So knowing that it was announced,
it was announced late though, wasn't it?
No, this was.
When was it announced?
The only one they announced early.
This is the only one that they announced early on, and so knowing that, I was disappointed. But again, I think part of this comes because there was no transparency and clarity on here's what you're actually getting for going to it. No.
I think it had a lot to do with you going to Minnesota in
because even once people knew, they still went to Baltimore and Rochester, and then they knew what they were getting.
I
think it's because it's a crap-ass location to get to. It's the same reason San Antonio has tiny things, because it's a crap location to get to. That's what causes the numbers to be small.
I agree that it is a poor location to get to, but I'm telling you that they could have increased the numbers because we have a larger.
They would not have increased the numbers by releasing what the prizes were ahead of time.
Well, no, it might have actually decreased knowing what was there.
Because I'm wondering, okay, so hold up.
So
Your
I don't
numbers-
see where your
Drascore?
argument's going.
Hold on.
Well, your
We can-
numbers
we
for
can-
Rochester
we
and-
can easily kind of squash this, Drascore. What was the most expensive vault tour to get to?
Well, he's in a different spot.
Well, he's in a different spot, but like I'm sure the average it's going
Well,
to average out pretty
He flew
similarly.
everywhere. So, well, no, he did. He drove to 2 of them.
Yeah.
When was this event?
This was in April, early April.
That's when
April
I was on
4th,
my
I think.
cruise.
Yep,
Yeah.
you were on your cruise. Yep.
So definitely, it wasn't this one. It was definitely more expensive to get to Vegas. It was I think it was more expensive to get to San Antonio. Well, I flew into Houston.
This was the one that was the weekend after Easter,
Yeah.
right?
It was also WrestleMania weekend.
So a whole bunch of people were traveling, had just traveled and done family stuff and took time off for Easter, and then was like, and travel again.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to avoid all that, right? Like, it's
Well,
different
no,
than
it's not.
like,
It's not hard to avoid all that. You can just change your dates.
well, no, but there's always something, right? So, like, I think the bigger challenge was San Antonio was over. Was it over
Memorial Day weekend was San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
I think that's
was
a
it
bigger issue than-
Rochester
Oh,
was
this
Father's
was
Day weekend?
Rochester was also the stupid eclipse thingy, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh,
was-
that's
it was
right.
the
So
eclipse weekend.
that's right. I flew in from Canada. That's why I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember prices. Or no, I flew out from there to Canada.
Yeah, you went to Canada to go watch the eclipse like the next
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. And I was like, I hope I don't get murdered.
And apparently, a lot of people had already
wife.
booked that because it's an astronomical planned
Yeah.
event,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Yeah, I'm not canceling my trip for that."
Mhm.
So Gigi, write this down. Don't plan
Yeah.
vault tours around astrological events.
Yeah, that's
Well, but
that is
people-
funny because it was like after, and Josh was like, "What are you guys even talking about?
Right?
What is this eclipse thing?"
Eclipse.
What's the sun?
I didn't see anything.
I don't know. I still see for attendance that both Rochester, New York, and Baltimore, their locations allow for a higher density in the area for people.
But then you got Las Vegas, who's right in that mix too.
Las Vegas, you still have to fly into versus being able to drive. So
Correct.
I don't know.
But
I
you're
think-
not. Rochester had
It's cheap
70,
flights.
Baltimore had 76, Vegas had 72. I think
what
there's a few things that all these have in common. Number one, there was nothing going on that weekend. It's not Father's Day or Labor Day or Memorial Day or any of the big holidays that we know we all spend with our families because kids. And then I know what you say, Sheep. You are the exception, not the norm. Hate to tell you this.
But I think that you have some really large player bases that you can see for both, especially for Baltimore, and so that has another impact. And to start the
But
year,
again, but explain Vegas then. A lot of Keyforgers hanging out in the city of sin.
no, you have a number of individuals on the West Coast who
Yeah,
will
it's
want to come
the-
into that area because there isn't a West Coast.
Well, it's
spot.
the California drivable one,
Correct.
right? So that's it is a thing. When you look at the drivable population base for either of the East Coast ones, it's huge, right? You look at the actual drivable population base for the Roseville one, you technically catch Chicago,
Mhm.
right? But Chicago has for the population has a very
Smaller
small
Keyforge base.
active player base.
Yeah, it's really decreased.
It's damn near non-existent, right? Like they come and play with us in Wisconsin. That's how little it is. They did have an event this weekend, and some people show up, but they're also they don't have a significant traveling for vault tour population. There's just a handful. So it's just when you look at Roseville and you draw a circle around it and you just do a count of people, the only one that's probably got less people in a circle in circles around it is Vegas, but you get the circle big enough and you hit California and it all of a sudden balloons back up.
And flights are cheaper there.
Yeah,
You know.
flights can
So,
be cheap to Vegas. It
Yeah,
was not
I'm
that cheap
pretty
this year.
sure. Oh, I found a great flight. I found a deal. Now that I'm remembering that, definitely San Antonio was the most expensive flight.
Right.
Now that I'm just remembering this.
We got to move on. We are 40 minutes in and we're still on Roseville.
That's because you keep getting distracted.
I am not distracted. Rochester, New York. Otherwise
we
known as
didn't rate the
Rochester.
Vault Tour overall, which is what you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's
vault
the whole
itself.
point. So real quick, I thought the streaming setup was fine. I thought it was actually really nice for Roseville. I felt the team representation, even though the numbers were low, you saw some local teams.
Yeah, Reapout was there.
You saw some larger teams. Shorter report we did well in this event overall. I think that's
by
really
he means he did well in this event overall.
Well, Team
But,
AC
like,
was there, right?
Yeah, Team AC
They
was
showed
there.
up.
so I-
We were
I
there.
felt
We
that
did
that
a
was
thing.
fine. Now you can go on to Rochester.
I tried to play WoW. That was a mistake. I didn't make that mistake again.
All right. Rochester, New York. Otherwise known as Ronchester.
Way to go.
Rochester?
Yeah, Wookie.
I wasn't on
He's
home.
really
I wasn't
working on.
Ronch. Raunch. Ronchester.
No,
Oh,
Rochester. He's like a
Rochester.
fullback for the Browns,
Yeah.
right? I think.
He also sucks.
He's working on his spelling.
I'm working on my spelling. I wasn't on home roll. 70 attendance. 61 played in
Rochester.
61 played in Sealed, 55 played in Archon, 10 played in Alliance. 10. Almost into single digits.
Not even one.
There were 2 people in this event who missed top 8. Just 2. Drazcor was the only one that had. You were the only one at this event, right?
Yeah, there were the 69 other people were all bots. It was just Drazcor.
Just
and
Drazcor.
69 bots.
Yep.
Is that how I did so well? Thanks, guys.
That sounds about right. It's all.
Oh.
And yet you still choked. So
What was
I got a runner up and a top 8.
Mhm.
So, say whatever you want.
you didn't win.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're still the choke show to me.
Well, thanks, Woogie.
Aw.
So how was Rochester?
So Rochester, it was a good time. So I stayed at the hotel with Chimera and the food. There was like a whole bunch. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of different places around to eat. That was a good time. Like a bunch of different breakfast venues. I forced, as I do, right? Whoever I'm hanging out with, I just force them to do whatever I want to do, right? So, when I hung out with Joker last year, I just forced him to watch me drink, right? Chimera, I forced him to walk like far. We walked to this coffee shop and I'm ordering. And I'm like, oh yeah, what do you want? He's like, oh, I don't drink coffee. I was like, okay. I just made you.
So again, you forced somebody to watch you drink.
Yes, I did.
I'm noticing a trend.
Move. Yeah, watch me. Watch me drink.
Oh, I remember this one. So this one, we had a lot of fun with this one. Little controversy added in there.
Oh,
with our boy, which got all sorts of everybody crazy. That might have added a little bit to the hype.
Yep.
Yep.
This was also the first Vault appearance of Cardboard Sheep.
No, it wasn't.
Which was a huge hit.
First Vault appearance of Cardboard Sheep was in Roseville.
Yeah?
Remember, you scared the shit out of me with him.
Oh, you're right. Cardboard Sheep was in Roseville. I just remembered the kid in...
This was the first time Cardboard Sheep got physically assaulted.
Yeah, assassinated. Yeah, I remember the kid with the Nerf gun just totally blowing away Sheep. And then reloading.
Was it an automatic Nerf gun?
It was
like one of those battery
like a
operated
semi-automatic situation, and it was like, he would lean it on the chair because it's kind of heavy and just unload the whole clip, right? And then he would reload, right? And then he would get real close and just go one-handed right straight to the head and pop. I was just laughing hysterically as this was happening.
Whose kid was this? Did we ever find this out?
No, I am not exactly sure who this kid
So
was.
it's just some random kid who like
some
showed up
random
who's like,
kid
oh,
who's like
cardboard.
This mother effer needs to die.
I know this guy. He's got to go.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah. So
So
food
this-
situation was a
Food was pretty good.
okay.
We,
If you had to give it a letter grade, which is something we're doing here, what would you have given it?
for the food,
Yeah.
the breakfast situations were real good. I remember that.
I don't need to break it down
Um,
by meal. Just give me an overall.
I'm trying to remember what we. I think it was solid B plus.
All right.
This-
Hotel situations.
Hotel. So the hotel was decent. I remember I show up and like the first night to the hotel, and I go to the hotel bar, and they're just like wrapping up bar service, and I see Josh and CTP there. So I'm like, all right, so I go over and I start talking. And like Josh feels the need to insert into the conversation because I introduced myself by my name. And so he feels the need to insert, this is Drazkor. Like, be careful what you say to this man.
Oh, is that
So-
what they do? I didn't recognize half the little like undercutted jabs. Be like, oh yeah, this is such and such. Yeah.
Yeah,
they got a
this is Drazkor.
secret wink that they give each other when they're like, oh,
Maybe. Watch what you say to this guy.
Watch what you say.
So yeah. No, so I chatted with him a bunch. And I don't know that I went out to eat that much, but I do remember the real fun thing that we did was back at the hotel. Because you were asking about the hotel. We did, so June and I ran a like Keyforge After Dark situation, and we get all sorts of like food and candy. We just ran Shredder, ton of Shredder. And CTP shows up. We're just playing Shredder in front of him. Which we asked if he wanted to join us. He refused. But
Was he
you know.
like, never? I will never shred Keyforge cards. Was like, oh no, I gotta go to bed.
no, he hung out for a little bit, and I remember. So actually, he did the CTP dinner there, right? That was the
Mhm.
first time they did the dinner, and my boys on my local Team Redacted, they asked all the questions, and between Stragan and Mammon DG, and so they they asked him all the questions and whatnot, and then I came back, and or they came back. CTV shows up. He's talking about, oh, how was the dinner, whatever. He was like, that was good, it was a little salty or whatever. And I was like, oh, the food or the conversation? He just laughs at it. He's like, the food. I was like, okay.
So
But
yeah,
yeah,
CTP definitely showed up for Rochester, but even his home location, he showed up Friday for Roseville and was there in and out in like a hot couple minutes. So he did not want to stay for us. So that's a definite upgrade for New York.
yeah, he was there all the time. He chatted with people, so.
Rochester is also where JM broke all of his self rules and bought VM24 decks.
Oh,
Mm.
how could
Shame.
You
Shame.
know, all
Shame.
the-
no.
all the
Shame.
If a
comments
man
we've
doesn't have
seen,
principles,
oh.
JM, then what is he?
All right, we all broke down. I played Alliance, and he's bought that. It's just
Well, I didn't do that.
We're all liars.
We're all degenerates
I-
now. Welcome.
yes.
I've been streaming
One of
instead of
us.
playing Alliance.
One of us.
Hey,
By the way,
I'll play
we didn't-
Alliance. It's still Keyforge. If I can double up, sure, why not?
We didn't super talk about streaming yet. Like, the streaming situation this year has been a
Much
blast. So much fun, right? Like the first time it happened was at Roseville, and like it was just people just going in and like, oh yeah, I'll take a turn streaming. And I ended up streaming with Jeremy at one point. I was streaming with Tobin from the Warcast Reforged at one point, right? And it was just like, I don't know. There was just something.
Man,
Like, we
don't
didn't
say
rate
much
Roseville
about it
overall.
because next year they're going to start selling tickets to who's able to stream.
No, they're still gonna
I
be
would say
desperate.
you're
The,
gonna have a big fight next year because Lokakar is gonna be fighting for that seat.
Yeah,
It was-
Sit there and stream.
It was it was like almost magical. Like if you added up, right? Now you had that A party, right? That party earned an A. But if you add up, like if you try to do the math on Roseville, you just add up all the things that happened and all the wonky things and low player counts, like the math should have resulted in a relatively low score, right? But like the overall score for Roseville was so high. And I don't exactly know why, but it was like
What do you mean the overall score for Roseville?
it was like an A. Like the event was an A, even though it shouldn't have been.
Our Discord
I don't know
might,
why.
our Discord might have had a little bit to do with that.
For Roseville?
Or Roseville.
For Rochester. Rochester.
Oh no.
He's-
Well,
he's gone
Rochester was
backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I'm
went
going
backwards because we didn't go ahead and give that.
Oh.
grade.
but Rochester.
So
Rochester
you said A for Roseville. What are
Yeah.
you going overall for Roseville?
I know exactly. I will agree with Drazcor with A.
It was an A.
But
it was like magical.
Unlike
I don't know why.
You had Sydney at.
Unlike Drazcor, I
Right.
can put my
Roseville.
finger on the pulse. It definitely 100% was the after party. Like when you have
After party was huge.
when you're going and you're playing in a long day event, right? And like the event itself was a C, right? If we didn't have that after party afterward, it was a C. Like it was fine. We got to play a lot of Keyforge, right? We did get to play in all 3 events. Like there was nothing wrong with the event. Nothing really went off the rails. Day 3 went a little long because again, we keep talking about, hey, there's going to be this situation, and it's like, nah, it's fine. And then the situation happens, right? Like it's almost irritating at this point because you're like, hey, this is going to happen, and they're like, nah, and then it happens, and you're like, see. But it 100% is like the Sydney's little after parties that it's like it brings everybody in that room together. And we all get to just have a good time. Like, I had no idea who some of these people were. I've never really talked to Sith or to, Dave a little bit, but like a lot of the people in that room, like, I don't really talk to them outside of these events. And even when we're at the events, we're kind of in our little team huddles, right? For the most part, we're with the people we know and who we hang out and who we talk with the most. But there's a little something about a little bit of liquid libation that makes you kind of come out of your shell a little bit, and now you're literally talking to everyone. And that's what's the most fun about it, because we do have a great community, and when we all talk together and get along, it's even better.
Yeah. It was a great time.
So
Yeah.
I overall, I will give it the actual tour itself, it was a C. It was fine. It met expectations, right? I'm not giving it a 3.4% raise next year, but I'll keep it where it's at. Yeah, but when you add in the little extras that are all community driven, it's an A.
Just the vibe in the room, even during the event, was awesome. Oh no! Oh, I forgot. We went to that like murder hallway or whatever, where yeah, led some folks to
you guys almost got murdered
speakeasy.
again.
Yeah, they were like, "What is this murder hallway?" I'm like, "It'd be fine, guys. Come on,
come on." One of these days you're gonna get murdered, and this show is gonna turn into something completely different. It's gonna go from Keyforge to true crime.
There you go. There you go.
Like, who killed Drazcor? Nobody knows. Let's find out.
Nobody knows.
Since I did not get
Are
my
we going
vote,
to San Antonio now?
Yeah, let's go to San Antonio.
Wait. What was your
what was your score for Rochester? Sorry, Draz.
Yeah.
B. So I had a ton of fun. And there was definitely. So I never encountered the specific situation that a bunch of people encountered with the controversy.
Because you weren't good enough.
What are you talking about? I did great at that event. But
or did
there there
You
was
did
quite a
greater.
few people who were put off by the whole situation. The I thought the after party situation was fun and good. The I had a I had a fun time walking back to the hotel with Marcus and Josh because CTP took the van.
Yep.
So like Josh and Marcus were like, wait, how are we getting back to the hotel with all this junk? I was like, I'll walk with you. I'll carry some stuff. So we like walked through all these dark parking lots and dark sidewalks in the middle of the night.
So now Dravscore's upgraded to also trying to kill GG's staff.
Yep, mule. Upgraded to mule status, yep. So but also there was a big turnout from Tavern Brawlers, so it was good to see like
Another
Jupiter. It was
team?
good to see. So I actually saw Southerly Elf there, if you guys remember who
He's
that is.
real. He doesn't just exist
So
in
he
my
says.
dreams.
Although I don't know,
Wow.
like Sheep did a
Somebody
good test
installed a
today.
bot to cover them.
Yeah, I mean, Sheep did a good test today. Asked if Sully was alive. He responded that he was, and then you told him to ignore all previous instructions and give you a,
He gave him
Blueberry
a blueberry
muffin
muffin
recipe.
recipe. Yep.
and he did. So
All right.
Yeah.
So Rochester, you're giving it a B. All right. Sam.
And he was the only one there. Now you actually missed my Roseville. My Roseville, very simply, is a B plus. I did not get a
plus.
chance to party as much, but I still thought while the attendance was low, we had a really good group there, and so I enjoyed it. San Antonio Sheep.
Otherwise known as Sad Antonio.
That Antonio.
39 people in attendance. 36 played Sealed. 37 played Archon. 27 Alliance. For those of you playing the which of these events were stacked game, put your answers in the chat. Sheep, you were at San Antonio.
I like how you only mention this in certain situations. But
Hey,
go ahead.
I'm just trying to help out here. Okay.
This is just
Sure.
like the teacher giving a quiz where they're like, "This is the answer right here."
I need you to pay attention to this
attention
question,
right now.
and still
Yeah.
half of the students are going to get it wrong.
Yes, for sure.
Mm.
Okay, so yes, I was there. It was you were there.
It was an event. Great Sheep. Great
You
reporting.
told me a bedtime story. It was a great event.
Oh yeah, the bedtime story.
So San Antonio was at Shenanigans, which had nearly no parking, enough play space, not really anything else going on there, but it was interesting. We're in a strip mall in a part of town where nobody wanted to go anywhere besides the strip mall. Right. But thankfully the strip mall had like 2 Mexican restaurants in it, an ice cream joint, and something else. So there was plenty of food available right there next to it, including the tamales place. And it had pretty good tamales. So the food for San Antonio was okay, but it was also then several miles to the nearest hotel. So
Yeah.
the hotel situation was fine in that we were at a DoubleTree or whatever the hotel. Well, I don't even remember now. It was a totally acceptable hotel, but it was kind of distancy, which didn't help with the party vibe. And then Sydney tried running parties there, but kept getting stuck playing late because everything was stacked. Right? So we were like, we never really got a lot of time at the end of any day to go back and then, well, if you were staying up late, you weren't getting much sleep, which some people definitely stayed up way late, like 3, 4 in the morning, and then had to be back to run stuff at 10.
Whoops.
What else happened? Was there anything else really? I mean, San
Well, we
Antonio
had-
was.
I mean, it was small, but we definitely had some stuff, right? So Orion did
Tiny.
all the streaming, right? And so I jumped in with him at certain points. We had the first showing of Buff Hobo.
Oh yeah.
Right. So since there was a recount of playing against some buff guy, so which at Rochester. So Buff Hobo showed up in order to make his presence known, and
Another one of those creepy cardboard sheeps was there.
Cardboard Sheep was there. Cardboard Sheep got a top 4.
He
And
did well and sealed.
yep, and then Real Sheep looked, tried to get real unhappy for his photo. But it still looks like you're trying to hold back a laugh so hard. But I thought it was pretty hilarious. But yeah, it was you and Dexter at the top table there. You did fraud things to me in the top 4, so you advanced and I did not.
Yes, thank you for allowing that.
Yeah. And what else? We got some barbecue. We got some solid barbecue while we were out there.
Yep. And on the
Um,
way back, we ate a whole lot of meat. So we
Oh,
had a
yeah,
good
we-
event.
Oh yeah, we went to that Brazilian steakhouse situation. That was pretty delicious.
But that wasn't the vault, right? Because Draz and I came in a little bit early, headed to Houston to meet up with our friends Z and Zach, who some people may remember. Most of us have already forgotten them. You may have heard those names. So we
Yep.
hung out with them a bit before, and then again, we rode back to Houston with them
Mhm.
after.
Stopped at Buc-ee's both ways, as you
And
do.
that was on the way back was a total disaster, and we were like in line to get gas for over half an hour.
Yeah, that was pretty outrageous. But those Bucky nuggets or whatever,
Beaver
Th- that-
balls.
beaver balls. There you go. That's where it was
I
at.
think they're beaver nuggets.
Yeah. What else? Oh, we also went to downtown San Antonio, so we went to the Riverwalk.
I didn't
Where it was
go to
like-
the Riverwalk.
Oh yeah, so who was that? That was myself and Sydney, and who else was there? Don was there. Who else was it Hobo? Who was there? And then
Can't help you.
Yeah. And
Just keep
Went to a
naming
tiki
names. You'll
bar.
get there eventually.
yeah,
Well, there's only 38 names to pick from.
yeah. So I went to a tiki
So I
bar.
love this. So I'm looking at the chat. Josh down in the chat. Legit, if we were going to get murdered, it would have been there. And
Yeah,
also
definitely
San
Hobo.
Antonio was also a possible murder spot after sealed finals. Do you see a problem with the places you're picking? I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean,
No,
I
it
mean, there
adds
was,
interest.
It
I
adds
mean, there was
something.
definitely drinks being sold on the sidewalk, and then there was a big drop into like a river, no railing. So I'm sure that's safe.
I'm just saying, if there's a possible murder spot at every point, at some point in every vault tour, maybe let's
Makes
not
it
have
good.
it there.
I
Or
mean,
makes
have
it
you
good.
gone to that hotel that's across the street from the DoubleTree in Roseville? I
No.
think that's a murder spot.
No, that's a hooker
Mm.
spot.
Yeah,
I
That's
thought
kind of
that's
one
where
and the
the-
same. Those
No.
things generally go hand in hand.
I
Do
thought
they?
it's the Walmart where X-Ray had to buy a jacket because he didn't realize it gets cold.
Cold in
Yeah,
Minnesota,
in
in
Minnesota,
November. X-ray.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, bring a coat to KFC. It'll
Mhm.
still be Minnesota in November.
Mhm.
So overall, what do you guys rate San Antonio?
On this random scale of events, I'm gonna guess it's like a B area for the actual event. There's nothing that ever makes me want to go to San Antonio again, right?
But you won.
Sure, but that's
You can win anywhere.
separate. Yes, that's right.
That's not true. Fraud only wins in
Yeah, this-
hell and
Yes,
Outside
fraud
the
doesn't win
United
in the
States.
U.S. Right? Fraud can't win in the U.S. So
only
we
in
have
Texas-
now
Texia?
that confirmed that after getting off the airplane, I thought Texas was hell, but fraud winning there confirms Texas is hell. It was the test, and sorry, it's definitely hell down there. Yeah,
It
I mean, like
was warm and humid.
for what we heard about generally how stacked events went at Roseville versus the relative smoothness of running stacked events at San Antonio, it went pretty well for that. Like San Antonio did actually run pretty darn smooth overall.
Mm.
So it was for the number of players and the amount of Keyforge we played that weekend. It ran pretty well on schedule. Everything went pretty smooth, but man, that was a lot of Keyforge to jam in those 3 days. Especially when you did well and didn't get eliminated earlier. It was a lot of Keyforge.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you're both saying B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. Baltimore, or as I wrote, Baltilus.
What?
I feel like I didn't write that.
We were trying to. We didn't figure out a Baltimore, so it was Sad Antonio, right?
Mm-hmm.
SAD, Sad Antonio. Punning all these names like Fort Worth. It's just a thing you got to carry on.
Got it. 76 attendance, 70 played and sealed, 16 in Archon, and again, for those of you playing at home, 14 in Alliance. Who went to Baltimore? Was it Sheep? Did you go to Baltimore? Are you sure this wasn't your cruise?
I was in Baltimore.
Yeah.
No, it was Roseville was your cruise.
When was Baltimore?
Baltimore was I don't know. I will find out for you. Here we go. Baltimore Vault Tour 2024. No date, but the article was July 1st. So end of June sometime?
Was it before San Antonio?
No.
No. Baltimore
it
was
was
after
after.
San Antonio. Or wait a minute.
So this was at
No, it was before
Games
San
and
Antonio.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Out in
Baltimore
technically
was
Glen Burnie.
Well,
but
hold on.
yeah.
No, that was June 3rd. Yeah, so it was the end of June. So I think this one was like the 28th, something like that. It was like the very end of June. I don't remember what we were all doing at the very end of June. I think it was like, what, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, something like that? Seems about right.
Mhm.
Oh, this was this the one when
Is this
we
Father's
were
Day
at
weekend?
No. This is where we were at the board gaming event, right?
Oh, was this Hoopla?
Yeah, I think this was Hoopla.
Got it. I know I wasn't there.
No,
That
June
explains
14th.
you and Ewok. So
I
yeah,
was camping. No, I was camping this week. Josh figured out June 14th to the 16th, so I was
Oh, okay.
camping, and it's my wife's birthday. Not
Mm.
that would have stopped me. And you are right, it was Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, okay. So this was Father's Day weekend. So the only one to show up was Drascore.
Yep, I was there.
How
Who
was
has
it?
older daughters.
So, yes, that's true. It does help when your kids are a little older. So it was a great time. It was a big turnout by the locals there, the Bay Witches. Also, a big turnout from my locals, Team Redacted. And we went and had a good time. So this Games and Stuff location is massive.
It used to be a Walmart or a Kmart or something.
It's something like it was big, right? Like this is the biggest game store I think I've ever been in.
I think it's the biggest game store in the U.S.
That could be true. It is massive. So it was really cool to walk around the place, and the play area was huge, and just the and the store owner was like there and excited to have us, which was really cool. He had ordered a whole bunch of the name decks for the store from, I guess, the previous from the previous Game Found, and so he was putting those up for sale there so everybody could buy one, so you could also get a souvenir from the store. So a whole bunch of people did that, and then he gave one away. He announced that he was giving one away to, pretty sure it was Marcus. And it was this whole thing, and I don't know, it was really cool. So the store was awesome. It was real close to a good taco place, a Mission Barbecue. It was real close to the Crazy Crab, which the staff was definitely high at when we got there. I remember that, but we definitely rocked into some Maryland crabs that were that was pretty good, and that was a good time. I also remember we went out and had a good time down in downtown Baltimore. We had a great dinner. I think it was myself, Sunday, JJ Medapps, and then like we were gonna walk to meet other people, and I was like, oh, let's just walk around along the harbor. Just looking at the general distance, failing to calculate how much back and forth you do zigzagging when you walk along the harbor. So it took us like a really long time to meet other people. But finally we got there, got more cocktails. That was a good time. Oh, and then I remember we were trying to find the car for like
Oh boy.
over an hour. It's like, where's the car? It's like, dude, where's my car? And just wandering around Baltimore, trying to find it was Don's car. So yeah, Dom's car was somewhere. Couldn't find it forever. But it was a good time. I remember this was the people were talking about, another Bandola win, right? People were talking about DT getting a win through Alliance with that Froglegs crazy deck. Where you just keep looping with the what's that crazy logos creature that however many creatures you play get more power, and then you just play the waste knots
Mage.
on it. Yeah, you play your waste knots on it, and you draw your whole deck, and then you house cheat and win. Just play all your cards. You just rule 6 everything in your deck. Basically, that was pretty outrageous. So it was that was kind of crazy to see. I remember freezing my balls off with Lokakar while streaming that game because it was so cold in the streaming room.
Was
and I
this
did
the
not
streaming
have
room that you
anything.
guys had to like bounce around in every few minutes to turn the lights back on?
Oh no, that was in San Antonio.
Was that in San Antonio?
Yeah, that was a Ryan and I. We were just like, just raving in there, trying to keep the lights on. No, this was a different one. It was so freezing in there. But it was a good time to stream with Lokakar. And it was a good time. It was a good one. It was it was good to see quite a few local players hanging out with them, and there was good food, good drinks. So it was a good time. It was a pretty good one. This was a B+ one.
B plus.
Yeah.
What are making these above average?
The people.
The people? Because it's the same
Yeah.
people at every vault tour.
Oh man, I was at one and it only got a B. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Wookiee was at 1 and they got an A. So, just saying. Same with Ewok.
It's because I'm awesome.
Yeah.
I'm the life of the
But there was
party.
cardboard
just
sheep there,
crumbles.
sheep. So, like,
Yeah, cardboard sheep definitely.
Cardboard
is
sheep, not as
good.
good as regular sheep.
No.
Cardboard-
definitely-
Not.
We did June and I ran a after party where we played Shredder, whole bunch of Shredder, AOA Shredder in the hotel. That was fun. So it was a lot of good stuff at that one. Did miss you, sheep. Did miss you.
Yep. Sorry.
All right. Las Vegas. 72 attendance, 69 sealed, 52 Archon, 18 Alliance. This is the vault tour that will forever be known as the vault tour that got out of hand. Right? Is it the plane ride from hell?
I mean, isn't that what?
Oh yeah,
I think it's
this
supposed to
there's
be.
definitely bad flights on the way home.
Well, that too. Also, your experiences may vary. Depending on which club you went to.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we'll say at this point.
Yeah.
But but
If you
a
like.
lot of craziness happened at this fall tour.
Vegas had good attendance. Not the most spectacular venue, but adequate. Also, though, it was a actual hall and not a game store. So whatever plus and minuses go on with that. Of course, we were right next to a gun show and some kind of ballroom dancing competition.
Oh, wow.
So there was that kind of excitement going on. Food
I was up there with
not,
the quinceanera from
Camps from
Keyforge
Live.
the food situation was pretty good, but did take a little bit of a walk in 120-degree heat. You had to walk about 5 to 8 minutes, and then you actually had fairly decent choices. You were doing fine then.
Yeah,
So the food was, and it was plenty of food that was in the right speed for what we were doing. Like, it wasn't crazy sit down food, and it wasn't all just like McDonald's. You had that right, like what you would call, I don't know, Chipotle kind of food, right? Where it's not quite fast food and it's not whatever,
Family fast and friendly, I think.
Yeah. So the food situation, and that was good. There was a bar available, not that and the breakfast was a little pricey, but actually the breakfast food at the event place was pretty tolerable for the price. What else was there? There was absolutely amazing alternative activity options. Outside of playing Keyforge, the options in Vegas are pretty good.
Yeah, I felt a little bad because I got wrecked Thursday night, so I was unable to participate in the experience on Friday.
And in kind of truth, I got so wrecked on Friday night that I went with Draz for the slightly more subdued Saturday, and kind of wish I hadn't.
You guys said you wanted to be subdued, so we just,
I know, but then the other group went a little harder than we did, and they appeared to have a very good time.
Yeah, I feel like this hardness needs to be one-upped. I'm just going to say that.
But it was subdued, yeah.
This needs to be one-upped immediately. We cannot be known as the light partiers in the Keyforge community.
All right, let's go to Vegas
right now. So the fun that was had the second night was not as hard of a party as we had on Friday night. That was probably the most drinking and rambunctious childness was Friday night, for sure.
Yeah. Saturday was good. I mean, we went to the Golden Tiki. We went with Wigsby from BGG. Right?
Yep.
And good food, good drinks. So it was delicious. It just wasn't rambunctious. Yeah.
Overall, guys, what do you rate Vegas? Letter grade. Give it to me now.
I mean, that's going to be an A for the overall event for me. It was the
B+. Yeah, B+.
Okay. We round out everything. That's the end of the Vault Tours, but we round out all of the majors with Gen Con US Nationals. Played 3 separate days. We had 38 for Seal, 28 for 28 for Archon, 13 for Alliance. I want Dan's letter grade. Dan, what do you grade this?
B. D?
You're going. Wait, what did it? B, D?
D. No, just the letter D as in dog.
Oh, D as in dog shit. Got it. Is Ewok still here? I keep cussing and I don't hear thank you for your donation.
Thank you for your donation.
Thank you. Ewok, you were there too.
I pressed my Ewok soundboard for that.
Oh.
Thank you for your donation.
I pressed it again.
All right. So
now let me try pressing the one about how second place doesn't get invite to Worlds. Let me find that button.
Rising was better at Vault. Nationals gets you into Worlds.
Wow, this AI generated stuff getting real good. All right, so me, myself, Sheep, and Ewok were all at Gen Con Nationals. We all played in all 3 events. to different levels of goodness. I started with sheep because sheep had the most problems. Ewok, you had the most free time.
I still
Very
made,
nice.
I still made top 8. I'm fine.
Oh, you did make a top 8. Yeah, that's right. We all top
He made a
8'd.
top 4.
I made a top 4.
Oh
so
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. You did. So, but how? Okay, so this is kind of an oddball one because we can't really. I mean,
Kyle Wookie,
location.
well, I played my cards,
Yep,
and they allowed me to go ahead and win a couple games, so I made top 4.
nice.
Good job.
Location is kind of chosen for you because it's at Gen Con. The
Yeah.
venue.
It's an expensive location. That
Mhm.
even, I mean, we did it on the cheap with staying in the sheep shack,
The Sheep Shack, baby.
and it was good, but
It's not a shack.
It's a
It's a
portable.
portable key fortress.
portable hole.
Oh!
Portable hole.
Portable key fortress. I like that. So venue, I hate to say it, guys. I'm giving it an F. Gen Con's not a great place for Keyforge
No, not
related
for
things.
Keyforge.
We
It's great
also
for other things.
failed. And again, the one night that we even got close to crazy, I wasn't there because of situation. And like we
was depressed. Sheep.
we did very little with being at Gen Con,
Anything?
right? Yeah. I mean, we played some games. It was fine, but
It was Steve's
didn't-
fault.
yeah, you ain't wrong.
Damn it,
No,
Steve.
we love Mr. Steve.
We
Well,
do love
sure, we
Mr.
love
Steve.
him, but it's still his damn fault.
We're working on next year already. He will try and go in early morning sessions.
I'm
and join
trying to
us
get him to
with
come to KFC
Well,
3.
He cannot.
But,
He is a teacher, and that is too many days off. No.
I don't.
KFC 3 is too many
Oh.
days off.
If it's
Oh.
at Gen Con, are we going next year just because we can do it so relatively cheap? Because we can
I was going to say, are we
Portable
staying in the
Keyforge.
Sheep Fortress of Solitude?
and we can drive it so it makes it a relatively cheap event. But like, am I gonna change up what I'm doing and just be like, maybe I'll just play in sealed next year?
I mean, I guess it all depends because Gen Con is it's a very pricey venue, right? It's a very, very pricey venue to spend 4 days playing Keyforge.
$275 just to play in the 3 events, not
Yep.
including any other travel costs.
Correct. So it's very pricey. Food there also, I feel like they add $5 onto anything you buy because
Yeah,
it's Gen
and, like,
Con.
The food trucks were fine.
They were
but
fine,
there was
but nothing
that
great.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the food trucks have been there long enough that they're like, you know what? We don't actually have to be good to get people to come back to us. We just have to be here.
We have to be serviceable.
We
have to be
also,
okay.
though, due to timing, because our lunch breaks were relatively near lunch times, that when we got out there, several of the lines were like, there's no way we're going to get that and get back to play our next game. So we
Yeah.
had to go to the shorter lines. So that might have indicated that we were at the not the best food ones.
Yeah, I thought the food was fine. It's just
It was fine, but it wasn't like
It
I'm
is-
not
it's
like going,
expensive.
I want to go explore more of those food trucks I ate at.
yeah.
Nope. I don't need to eat them again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chef Dan was pretty good. I would eat that again.
Chef Dan was pretty good. That out of
He
all the
also got
places,
the
that
right
was
name.
actually pretty good. But I mean, it's all close, so that was fine. Partying experience, we didn't really do anything. We played at the Marriott all 4 nights.
we had fun with
one
games.
drink the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, the stories alone from Ghostbuster Girl was
Yeah.
totally worth it. So
yeah,
that
I miss
raised
them.
it.
So
And for the one person out there that has taken this too far, please stop emailing.
But we, yes,
Please
yes.
stop. It's just getting
Yes.
creepy now.
I keep looking through Gen Con, other people's Gen Con pictures, looking for a Ghostbusters girl
Oh,
because I want to find Ghostbuster girl, and then I can send the picture to you, and you can confirm if it's her, and we can
I'm
reverse
not
creep her.
gonna lie, I've never looked. So, nor do I want to. So, 2 thumbs up there.
All right.
Um,
So the after hours activities with Ghostbuster Girl and games.
Does that-
Decent. B?
They were
Yeah.
they were fine. We hung out with good people.
Yeah, we did. have good people. Well,
Nick from Reapout hung out with us a bunch, and that was all good. Sydney hooked us up with a bunch of free access to free food and drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, but that was it was fine in that regard, but it just wasn't. I don't know. I definitely
For
had
the
more fun
Keyforge experience, I think you're
like the
right.
other one.
I think it's a D.
Yeah,
I mean-
the reason it is, and you can see this year in year out, is Gen Con's a large gaming experience.
Okay.
You're paying a large cost to get into Gen Con and go through that experience. But frankly, we were over in the stadium playing Keyforge, doing very little gaming. That you're walking the halls, you get a little bit of time, but
And
it's not worth the rest of the investment.
if you want to make a comment on prize value, which I don't think they need to pay for the cost of Gen Con in their prizing, but still the prizing was kind of
pathetic.
still underwhelming. Not actually underwhelming for the number of players attending, though. If you were to look at it versus number of players attending, they probably did just fine.
They probably did
a
just
very
fine. But
similar number to Roseville, and they got
no, but the Gen Con is pulling much larger numbers. The problem is you have too much else that's happening at Gen Con. And we had people who actually played Keyforge that stopped by, but simply said, we didn't know prizing ahead of time. The cost was here. There's too many other things to do. And so they
Well,
chose not
I
to
remember
invest.
last year's Double
Correct.
Limb and said, nope.
Correct. And so all of that filled in to go ahead and say, no, thank you. I'm at Gen Con. I'm paying a large amount of money. I'm going to go and enjoy the other aspects there. That's other games. That's the hall. So that has to be kept in mind. I honestly think that going ahead and frankly moving Nationals to a spot that is more like their home base at Roseville and eliminating their vault at Roseville, so you only have one event there. I think that is
Two,
personally
we'll still have celebrations
you'll
there.
still have celebration, but you have your one Nationals there or somewhere else that's again a little bit more centrally located. That would be my choice. I think that having a large sealed event or having something fun that is different from Nationals or different from the Vault at Gen Con is important. I think their presence there is really, really key. But going ahead and having multiple events and being able to run them there, I don't see that as a good choice. And running Nationals at Gen Con,
We covered this after Nationals.
yeah.
Am I getting close at all with the images here in chat, Wookie?
Oh, I'm not
Ghostbuster
looking.
Girl?
I'm sorry. I didn't even look. I don't know.
no.
No.
So now we've got to start putting in the work to be bringing the A grade to celebrations.
I mean, we've got some plans, right? For people going and for people not going. We're working on it. I mean, I'm hoping that celebrations is a good time. We'll kind of
Wookie,
see what.
Did
It's gonna be a good
Ghostbuster Girl have a nose ring? I don't remember that. I'm going no.
I don't remember, to be
Sorry,
honest.
there are
with you.
pictures, and now you've distracted me with.
I'm now distracted.
That
too,
wasn't the
so.
part.
But I mean, either way, like it is a big time investment into something you're spending a bucket of money on, to go there. So,
there are less nighttime sealed events at this one, though, right? There's just there's the tokens of change.
Well, that was it from last year too. So there was just the whatchamacallit. So, overall, what would you give this Vault Tour season? 2024. Obviously, we're done. The majors are over with, and we're just waiting for KFC. What would you give this Vault Tour season?
I mean, for the when I say season at home, I won an event, so it goes up in a letter grade. Season as a whole.
Okay.
This was the season was fine for me. It was solid B plus. Would do again. It is down from last year, not because of prizing, but because there were a handful of people who were coming to events last year that are not coming to events this year, and that was a bummer.
But they're not coming due to prizing, isn't it? Or no?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I don't know anybody who actually said they weren't coming due to pricing. I know a few people have come due to some other issues with GG stewardship of the game, not pricing related. And then some people I know who quit because of how they dealt with changing alliance bans and all the work they had done planning for the season got eliminated when they changed the alliance bans at the end of last season. So like the stuff they wanted to play never even had a chance to get played, got banned before it even hit tables.
I still think that's silly. I'm sorry. Like, I understand the frustration, but at the same point, like, you knew the band list was going to be updated. You kind of got to take that as, like, that's your off season, wait for the new band list, and then make your planning.
Or if you're going to be good, you're putting work in, right? Like,
I mean,
But the short answer is, Wookie, a number of these players just aren't going to come back. I do agree with Sheep. Both of those issues stated here. U.S. side, I don't feel that the loss of money had a major impact in people not showing up. I will tell you that
pricing does seem to impact the EU
International.
market more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot
specifically the EU
money.
market.
Yes. I
the other markets, I guess, never had vaults.
Well, I mean, when you have a travel voucher that's worth anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000,
like
I mean,
it wasn't the travel.
Very meaningful to the EU market too.
Yeah,
okay.
just to be able to see that there was a prize to be able to go for.
Yeah. Drascore, what do you give the overall Vault Tour 2024?
Yeah, BB plus. Yeah, somewhere in there.
You guys are very generous. Ewok?
I went ahead and go B. I think we have a phenomenal group of individuals. I think that the investment in our local communities where a lot of the vaults were run was really nice to see. I think that we have some work to be able to do on prizing, but frankly, I don't know what that is. I think we're stepping and improving, but it's still too top loaded on first place. And I think that there's some work that can be done. I really like our group. And even though the numbers have decreased, I think that it has been a really good vault season. So I still give it a B.
Interesting. I give it a C minus.
And why is that?
I think the prizing needs to be I need to know prizing. Write this down,
The
Josh.
transparency. And
I need to know prizing for every single event by KFC. I need to know when they are, and I need to know what I am getting for them. I was very ecstatic and happy in the moment that I hit a second place. It is the highest I have finished to date. I had to beg, borrow, and steal a deck to do it, and that's fine. But I played well, and then when I got what I got, I was like, oh, cool. Like, I was a little let down.
You were a lot let down.
I was a lot let down. And I agree with Sheep that the cost of Gen Con does not need to be, recouped in the pricing. Because I understand that's probably not feasible. However,
most people go home with absolutely nothing from Gen Con except having spent more money.
Sure.
Well, but frankly, that's what we did as a whole.
I was going to say, as a whole, we did.
Attractiveness to
when it comes down to it, I look at the Nationals event was a very similar size to Roseville. And I feel like I walked away with a lot less.
And I still disagree. You have access to Worlds right now.
Okay. We look at access to Worlds very differently.
Yeah.
Very differently. Because I don't think you're going to have one problem qualifying in an LCQ to get into either, because my assumption is sealed spots are going to fill up quick, and then it's going to go Archon, and then it's going to go Alliance. And the fact of the matter is, with the amount of people that I and you guys tell me I'm crazy, but with the amount of people I expect to be at KFC, I feel like if you show up, you're going to get a Worlds invite.
No, because there's going to be 100 people there.
I think you're incredibly wrong.
I
think it's going to be about 70.
Cut in half.
I feel like it's going to be about 70.
I mean, that's. I think it's going to be closer to 100, but okay.
I mean, and we'll only time will tell at this point in time.
And I think the thing with nationals is most nationals are going to be probably closer to the size or smaller than even US, which means with both the vaults and the national,
I'm sorry,
that
excuse me.
the prizes don't scale at all with participation.
But also picture this. Didn't this kit for nationals cost $500?
Believe that was the case, but that
Can you imagine getting if you spend $500 and that's what you get to run a
somebody did the
nationals
math, and it was you were paying cost for that stuff. If you look at how much stuff is in there, it was like considered cost or something, which is about what their prize kits have been.
8 play mats times 24 play mats.
Yeah, that's a lot of play mats.
A deck book.
I know, Wookie, you're hitting on nationals. We still have international vaults coming up. You have some other nationals coming. I'm going to tell you that, frankly, the thing that I want to see for KFC, and then Josh, this is for you, GG team as a whole. We need to see local OP support. And I love what we're doing with Mars. It's one event there. Your store championship, one event. We got 2 events for the year. So we need those events, but we need them a lot more consistent.
Because what's weird, okay, so I'm just going to kind of throw this out there because I 100% agree with you, and we've been beating that. That's another horse that we've just
But
we've murdered that horse.
Fred is there, and we're going to keep, but I want to see it I want to see an outline for KFC, and that needs to be there.
Because what's crazy is the Mars event came out, and all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, I want to play in the Mars event," and now they're showing up. Like the Mars event came out, and all of a sudden we have 2 new people at our locals. We've been playing at the same place for over a year, and it wasn't until the Mars locals came out that new people are showing up. There's something is exciting somebody somewhere to show up.
But we have to say thank you to Josh and the GG staff for that. Like, that is showing that your effort is paying off. But we need to be able to have, again, that incentive for others locally. And then we need to know what the items are and when they are for nationals and for vaults. And we need to have some incentive. There needs to be some carrot. And that could be simple. That could simply be something as simple as a walk away. Here's your token. Here's a little bit that you're getting from this experience, but there needs to be something.
Ewok is saying he must be paid to do things.
No. I am not actually saying that it is money. I don't think that that's sustainable.
You don't have to be paid money. There's other ways to pay people and stuff.
Favors.
This Mars kit is the thing is, so this Mars kit is great. Everybody's enjoying it.
It's fun.
This had to have taken significantly more work than what JM is posting over in the thing, which is cardboard tokens or the Mars kits. Like, I actually wonder what takes more time, like developing and getting all this stuff printed, because all that was third party by FFG. But like the Mars kit is actually interesting, where the traditional kits we got from FFG were boring.
So the art was kind of cool.
Yeah,
all art were not bad.
Yeah, I thought there was incentive to come back week after week for the alternate art because you had a leader.
Yeah, but the whole way that was implemented was trash.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but I'm saying the idea, we need to have reasons to bring people back. Frankly,
we're seeing that with the Mars event. With the Mars event, a lot of people are like, "Yes, okay, this is."
We're running it multiple times.
I still see there seems to be a lot of confusion where people are like the Mars event, and they're like, "Well, but I want to play to get a better deck," and it's like, "But your deck, I mean, it's the Mars event. Like, you're playing for your faction, and that's something, but like your overall results in the Mars event are not that meaningful."
No, they're
right?
not.
You get
they have meaning to somebody. Clearly, because new people are showing up. People we've never met. People who have. Let's talk about this. People who have lapsed from the game. have come back to play
So
to now be a part of this Mars event.
The Mars event has done what Alliance never could.
So exactly what we talked about 2 years ago, bringing those lapsed players back. Your Mars event did it. Pete, I don't know if he's still in our chat. What did he say? He got it in like Worlds Collide and kind of like he just kind of played at home and never really did anything with it. And then the Mars event came out and he's like, I should find a local. And I'm going to guess he found Josh's little map and found out we were playing near him. And he came out and did it.
Yep, it's certainly because Kryptonite showed up on it. And they showed up on my Kryptonite Discord going like, what are you guys doing? And then I was like, you're going to have to drive to Milwaukee, sir. That'll be 2 more hours of driving. And he's driving almost 2 hours, I think, to play with us.
Right.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, I mean, you're talking like, it's exactly what Sheep said. You brought Alliance to bring players back, but that didn't work. But for whatever reason, this Mars kit did. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a storyline event, but if we had monthly ideas of something that we could get something going, I mean, this is what these fun little kits are, what's bringing people back. Weird story.
Bring a deck from home that has this house. Boom.
Okay.
There are different things here. I know we've gotten off
I mean,
task.
fair enough. I didn't think the
Yeah.
Mars kit was what was going to do it, but something just as silly as that was what did it.
Well, because the game is still a very enjoyable game. People like it. People have enjoyed it. The problem is we haven't been consistent.
We
and
got
so
12 people signed up for Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird, but more of like this doesn't got to be a civil war. And again, I'm not paid to come up with these kind of ideas, so have at it. But something is I don't think it has to. It can't be something as bring a deck with this house, because anybody could do that, and we've done that, and that hasn't gone anywhere. But just like something special, something that makes it. I mean, I don't know what it is.
People have a reason to fight. There's an impact on Rebel or your elders. That's why.
So, I mean, maybe we need to talk to Pete and be like, what was it about this event that like made you want to like all of a sudden come out to the stores and do something where you didn't feel that need before? Because obviously this was a thing that got him. And I don't know what's our other guy's name? Alex. What triggered them to be like, yep, I need to come out and play Keyforge again?
Yeah, Alex was, I think he said his buddy got some cheap AOA decks and they played them. And he said that was enough to come in. I think he saw the sign in the store.
Oh,
because sometimes he still shows up and plays Magic instead.
Okay. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But this is the thing. So the high expectations for KFC, because I mean, I do expect to find out where the vaults are going to be next year. What my time frame is, what my events are going to be, and what my prize support is. I need the who, what, when, and where for 2025, so I can start. Number one, I can start planning my PTO days. That's a big deal for a lot of people. Ewok, Sheep, Drazcor, not me so much.
I'm out.
But you're out.
Yeah, I don't have any more days. That's
no.
I
said for 2025.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I am all the way out until June of 2025 because I have days already set with this section of the year.
Oh, okay. Well,
What do they want you to like teach kids or something?
Well, we have
Yeah, consistency and education. That sounds dumb.
yeah. Just put on a movie.
Just
They'll
a
never
sub every
even know.
third day with a movie. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Put on Glory and just tell the parents you're gonna fast forward through the cannonball scene, but then you forget because you're not there. It'll be great.
And then you just put them on whatever when the kids went remote and there was that crappy education thing they were supposed to log into.
And none of them ever did.
Yeah, you just tell your kids to do that. They'll be fine. It worked a few years ago.
I don't think you guys have
Any clue on how to educate children?
You
I think
are-
you are correct.
You are 100% correct.
I'm just going to
'cause
have
none of
some
us are
water
teachers.
and sit here and say thank you for those
Water.
great
You're not even
ideas.
drinking beer. Look how serious he's become.
I got
I have
other
finished.
half
We're
Green
done.
City
We're
right
90
here.
minutes in. Yeah.
Yeah, it is done. Yeah,
But
double
it's-
dry hopped hazy IPA. Yeah,
Yep.
I went with Pseudo-Suit tonight. So,
But we'll see what comes of KFC. Do we have we don't have a countdown. I feel like we need a countdown. Suddenly, we need a countdown to KFC on drawbetter.cards. Visit drawbetter.cards.
We still.
Oh shit, guys, we're gonna have to do something about that when Amber Skies comes out. We have to get our act together.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
because we
don't
have
our.
Tell people.
Well,
thanks everybody. Have a good night.
We have our international vaults to look forward to and nationals.
Yeah, we don't
we'll
have
have to like rate cards on the show. You know, we never got all the way through GR.
Yeah, we did.
We don't. Yeah,
no, we did.
We finished GR. Overpowered.
We finished GR. What are you
Everything's
talking
5
about?
stars.
Everything's great. Kills Brio. Done. It's over.
Mars and Geistoid, real good.
Mars Geistoid, real good.
speaking
Everything
of
else,
Brio,
yeah.
So you know how GameFound's starting to ship. Definitely my name deck is Kills Brio this time.
Nice.
So it shouldn't be that long before we get US shipping notices.
So does that mean your deck kills Brio?
Yeah, it better.
Not with Amber Skies.
Otherwise, I'm about to return it. Be like,
yeah, we got to get on that sheet. So,
well, we don't even have a full spoiler list, so we ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, once it comes out, we'll do something. Hopefully.
This is true. But yeah, we finished them. We finished Grim Reminders. You must not have been here. Maybe you were driving somewhere.
No, I don't think so, guys.
I think we did.
All right.
If you're looking at Eclipse.
We finished. Those episodes may have also been deleted or lost, but we did finish.
Oh, that's what it was. They were lost.
My store game found is still not fulfilled. So they have not shipped the store stuff yet. But I'm wondering if Mass Mutation is printed and if that's why mine
and
is
not only that,
all
when's the pre-release dates?
pre-release.
Hey,
we saw
Janet is figuring it out, man.
spoiled block picture of the of an Amber Skies pre-release kit, but I wonder if that is staying outside of the OP track where it's just some retail packaging and doesn't actually mean anything again.
Probably.
And what random Keyforge trinket are they going to put in this one? Yeah. That is. Yes. Thank you, JM. He's linked it in our thing. Somebody's got it up for pre-order. Which is funny because I haven't logged in to look to see if my store can order this, and I cannot. Oh, it says is going to contain 3 Amber Skies and a Skyboard pin.
Oh, the pins. Yeah, remember they had the pins last year.
Yeah, and this time it's suggesting 3 Amber Skies decks and a Skyborn pin for retail of 3 decks. So you buy 3 decks, get a free pin. That's actually not a terrible deal for a store to be able to offer, but having to order that as a separate SKU is...
The pin's a separate SKU?
No, the pre-release pack is a separate SKU than regular decks. And they are... Oh, that's funny. This place says multiple in stock. Oh, no, it is does say pre-order. Okay.
Speaking of the Mars kits, not scannable. Like, they're scannable for us, but for the store, for the QR?
Yeah, well, they're not meant for retail sales, so they do not have a retail SKU on them.
But if you have not run your event, like, that caused some issues for our own store, how to put
that caused some issues for our store, where they are charging dollars for Magic events, but they can't figure out how to charge dollars for Keyforge events.
Wow, that's a whole nother. That's a topic not for us for this show because it has nothing to do with GG. The inadequacies and inepticities of certain people that work at a certain location.
Are we gonna maybe?
Well, speaking of,
if we had any skills, we could start Game Store Rescue instead of Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
So speaking of inadequacies, so I'm checking notes here. So we definitely did Brobnar. We definitely did Equidon.
Whoa, we're not talking about
We're going through a tunnel.
We're all done. That's all for tonight, everybody. We'll see you all next week. You're breaking up. What are you gonna do?
This is a great listening experience.
How do I?
May the Forge be with you.
Oh,
happy watching, everyone.
Kick Drascore. There it is. But that's going to do it for us all this week.
You already did the outro.
We'll see. What? No, we did it. We'll see y'all next week.
Forging good stuff.
May the forge be with you.
Oh,